Hey, my name is Badass Benny and welcome to my channel. If you're an ace, AMAC, or sex human trafficking survivor, you're in the right place. And it won't cost you a penny to like and subscribe and share worldwide. And please leave a comment down below. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning and I woke up between 3 and 4:30, 4:44. I always get these numbers sometimes. I see a lot of 444, 33s lately. And I wanted to let you know that I learned that complex PTSD is a brain injury, not a mental illness. And I told one of my stories on here where I was thrown across the room and learned in my late 40s that I had an undiagnosed brain injury from a sexual assault. People just like Jeffrey Epstein, just like uh, G. Maxwell, and Donald Trump and Melania Trump. People who are in power and have money, and what is going on in the world right now are triggering a lot of people that have ACE, AMAC, and sex human trafficking issues and stories. And so I wanted to come on here and share from my heart. And I remember when Donald Trump was elected in 2016, around that time. I remember, I would talk to my therapist, and she would just go like, well, what did he do now? Kind of a thing. And what we know today about him being prosecuted for raping women, and there's so much information online about him being a serial child murderer and rapist of children, girls specifically. And this has bothered me to the core. We have a leader that is in a noble position and is a perpetrator. People like this will die on their deathbed and act out. And I've done so much healing from 12 to 48, and I pushed through just to heal, to get healthier and better in the world. And here I am, and I'm just like looking around going, there's a lot of sick people in the world, and we're all just acting out. And because there's just a lot of darkness, and I had to crawl out of darkness to get to the light, and I'm staying in the light, and I ask people to stay in the light. In order to stay in the light, I feel like we need to find our hearts and clean it out, and that means all the inner traumas that we have as children on up, and do the inner work, and whatever that looks like for you and how long it takes, because healing takes as long as it takes. And that's why they say you're ready to get on an elevator ride to hell, because that's what it will take. And it doesn't, there's no excuse for having the president where he's at. And today is Virginia Guthrie's anniversary of her death, and that's what helped start this channel. I was on the West Coast and in my room, and I was so angry and crying. She's my hero, my heroine, That woman stood up against all odds, told her story, and she killed herself. I cried and I was upset and put me in a panic, quite honestly, a year ago. And I have my first video. I need to figure out how to put it on this channel. And I left that town and came back home. I had a job and everything. And I heard a voice from a friend saying in my head that family's everything. Excuse me. So I came back home. And I'm also a NAMI mental health advocate. I became one after my son was overdosed. And that's another story at the county PUP unit. Excuse me. I hope I'm not coming down with some kind of cough. I wanted to tell you I'm going to have my teeth pulled out in the front because I did 2 years of vomiting every day, all day. I deal with nausea and vomiting from gastroparesis, so I take meds, and I deal with chronic pain. And all these years I didn't use opiates. I did ibuprofen. And you know, I was reaffirmed in my church yesterday, and I don't trust a lot of conservatives. I don't trust the Republican Party, their GOP, or even some of the Democrats, and some of the parties. It's just our world is in a horror nightmare. And I ask the good people of the world that, you know, to open your hearts and let the love come in, the unconditional love from God or of your understanding, and let the light come in and through. And I do believe in unconditional love from God and living that way. That's why I'm doing these videos. And you know, it took a lot of work to learn unconditional love from where I came from, and I learned it from my son. And so, you know, giving that back to others is important as well, to love others unconditionally if we can. However, when it comes to Trump, I'm having a real hard time with that. I ask Jesus Christ to make an intervention and to have this man forced out of leadership. He has to be forced to stand down. And the federal government, Congress, there needs to be a Senate hearing, and this man needs to be investigated and arrested in a federal prison. Because we can't just act like everything's okay and normal. And the way that Donald Trump, the president, talked to Norah O'Donnell last night was so disgusting. We have lost our humanity. That is not a sane human being. That man has hurt children and murdered them, and women, and the way he treats women as nothing, as shit on the ground, lesser than. We need to remember how to be a human being and come back to it. Because the way we're all acting in this world isn't. And I'm not happy with the king coming and acting as if everything's all right. It's not. We cannot normalize this at all. No way. Hell no. So I ask the people of the world, because what's happening with the sexual assault and rape and Esptein files affects the whole world. The people need to look at it, how sick the world truly is and dysfunctional. And since the beginning of time, we've had incest. And we always said, rape crises, we thought maybe it would be the president's daughter before we would bring awareness to sexual assault, when we have a president that's a rapist, a serial rapist of women and children. It's sick and toxic. We cannot normalize this. And the Speaker of the House and all the politicians and people in the world, in the United States, in different cities and rural areas, need to stop and think. Because I have friends today in their 80s, they haven't even worked on their sexual assault issues. And they're projecting their hate and everything onto everybody around them. Maybe because their husband is a conservative, a Republican, and a Trumpster, whatever you want to call it. And it's not about all that. It's about sick men. Sick. My brother's a Trumpster. It's sick. He's a very sick man, my brother. Makes good money. It's my older one. And conservative Republican. My dad worked for the Department of Defense and Intelligence. And I'm telling y'all, as a simple man and person here on this earth, and gone through hell, and I'm protecting my personal peace. And that's something Donald Trump can't take. He's a predator. And his wife, Melania Trump, is similar to G. Maxwell. She has seen so much. She needs to be investigated and arrested. We as a people of this world must make that happen. Because if we continue this way, it's not good for humanity and for our children. And the men today thinking it's okay to hurt women and talk to women like lesser than shit, no matter what country, no matter where you're at. Women are sacred beings. Men must step up and protect women, and it's not what's happening at Congress. You're not protecting women or people. You're hurting people. The very people you're helping, you're hurting for money. And your creator, you're going to get it when you're with your creator, and it's not going to be pretty. So I ask the people of the world to do something. We need to do something as a collective, as a global, to oust people like Trump from office. People that are abusing power in leadership roles. I ask for your help in this. I'm 57 years old. And I finally, I have peace. And I am a survivor of AMAC. Adult molested as a child since I was just a small toddler. You guys heard my story. And it's not about sex. It's about power and control people. And still, white men are the number one predators. They're number one high in statistics as being rapists, more than blacks and Hispanics and Native people. It's white men. Check it out yourself. Now, what are you going to do to take care of yourself? I hope that you can take what I say, leave it, or take it. But please do not hate. I don't want to hear it. Just go away. Love to you. God love you.